यमुनतीरावनचारी जय राधा माधवा कुंज विहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी यशोदनन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यमुनातीरावनचारी यमुनातीरावनचारी जय राधा माधवा कुंज विहारी जय राधा माधवा कुंज विहारी जय कृष्ण बलराम जय कृष्ण बलराम कृष्ण बलराम जय कृष्ण बलराम जय गौरानिताय जय गौरानिताय गौरानिताय जय गौरानिताय जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय Mishnapat Paramahansa Parivrajakatarya Ashtottara Satashi Srimad His Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki जय Mishnapat Paramahansa Parivrajakatarya Ashtottara Satashi Srimad His Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Ki अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिव सद्गौर भक्त वृंद की ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की श्री श्री कृष्ण बलराम की श्री श्री गौर निताय की हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र की जगत गुरु शील प्रभुपाद की निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 19, Text number 38. This is the last verse of this chapter, which is entitled The Killing of the Demon Hiranyaksha. Etad maha punyam alam pavitram etan maha punyam alam pavitram etan maha punyam alam pavitram धन्यम यशस्यम पदम आयुर आशिषाम धन्यम यशस्यम पदमायुराशिषाम धन्यम यशस्यम पदमायुराशिषाम प्राण इंद्रियाणां युधि शौर्य वर्धनम प्राणेन्द्रियाणां युधि शौर्य वर्धनम प्राणेन्द्रियाणां युधि शौर्य वर्धनम नारायणो अन्ते गतिर् अंग शृण्वताम् नारायणो अन्ते गतिरंग शृण्वताम् नारायणो अन्ते गतिरंग शृण्वताम् एतन्महापुण्यम् अलं पवित्रम् धन्यं यशस्यं पदमायुराशिषाम् प्राणेन्द्रियाणां युधि शौर्यवर्धनम् नारायणो अन्ते गतिरंग शृण्वताम् एतन्महापुण्यम् अलं पवित्रम् धन्यं यशस्यं पदमायुराशिषाम् प्राणेन्द्रियाणां युधि शौर्यवर्धनम् नारायणो अन्ते गतिरंग शृण्वताम् एतत् this narrative Mahapunyam conferring great merit alam very pavitram sacred dhanyam conferring wealth yasasyam bearing fame padam the receptacle ayuhu of longevity ashisham of the objects of one's desire, prana of the vital organs, indriyanam of the organs of action, yudhi on the field of battle, shaurya the strength, vardhanam increasing, narayanaha Lord Narayana, ante at the end of life, gatihi shelter, anga O dear Shaunaka, Shinvatam of those who listen. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. This most sacred narrative confers extraordinary merit, wealth, fame, longevity, and all the objects of one's desire. On the field of battle, it promotes the strength of one's vital organs and organs of action. One who listens to it at the last moment of his life is transferred to the supreme abode of the Lord, O dear Shaunaka. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Devotees are generally attracted by the narratives of the pastimes of the Lord, and even though they do not prosecute austerities or meditation, this very process of hearing attentively about the pastimes of the Lord will endow them with innumerable benefits such as wealth, fame, longevity, and other desirable aims of life. If one continues to hear Srimad Bhagavatam, which is full of narratives of the pastimes of the Lord, at the end of this life, one is sure to be transferred to the eternal, transcendental abode of the Lord. Thus, hearers are benefited both ultimately and for as long as they are in the material world. That is the supreme, sublime result of engaging in devotional service. The beginning of devotional service is to spare some time and listen to Srimad Bhagavatam from the right source. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also recommended 5 items of devotional service, namely to serve the devotees of the Lord, to chant Hare Krishna, to hear Srimad Bhagavatam, to worship the deity of the Lord, and to live in a place of pilgrimage. Just performing these 5 activities can deliver one from the miserable condition of material life. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purports of the 3rd canto, 19th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled The Killing of the Demon Hiranyaksha. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pasyatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mokam karoti vachalam pangum langhayate girim Yat kripatamaham mande Shri Gurum Deenataranam. Suta Goswami is concluding the narration of the pastime of Varahadev vanquishing Hiranyaksha. He is telling Shaunaka Rishi, as all the sages in Naimisharanya, headed by Shaunaka Rishi, have assembled, and they have made Suta Goswami the speaker of the Srimad Bhagavatam, and they are asking various questions, and Suta Goswami is answering. Suta Goswami is mentioning here to Shaunaka Rishi at the end of the narration of the pastime of Varahadev vanquishing Hiranyaksha. He is telling him, Etan Pavitram Mahapunyam. This narration of the pastime of Varahadev vanquishing Hiranyaksha, how he fought with him, how he saved Mother Earth, how there was the big battle between Hiranyaksha and Varahadev, and finally how Varahadev very nonchalantly, just by slapping Hiranyaksha with his forefoot, Hiranyaksha lost his life. And because he had been touched personally by Varahadev, all the Devatas who were watching this whole incident happening, they could see that Hiranyaksha's bodily luster remained even after he died, although his prana, his soul had left the body. That was because Hiranyaksha's body, having come in contact directly with the Varahadev's body, it had become purified, and therefore it could retain its luster even after his death. This narration, it is Mahapunyam. Anybody who hears, it will confer of them not just punya, it will confer upon them Mahapunya. And Dhanyam, whatever wealth the person wants, the person will get simply by hearing this narration of Varahadev's pastime. He will become very wealthy. Yasasyam, he will become very famous. Ayur, and he will get long life. Actually, these are things which everyone desires to possess. What are the desirables in this material world? Dhana, Yashas, Ayu, Prana Indriyanam, Shauryavardhanam. In one's struggle for existence, we want our senses to be always strong, and we should also be strong. That is how you will see everybody goes to gym, they want to exercise, and you will see all Bollywood stars will all be will have rippling muscles because they want to display they are very strong, because that's a desirable aspect in this material world. We also go to the gym, just like when I was in college, we all college friends, we all got very much inspired by all these movie actors and their bodies, and we would go to the gym and daily exercise. Exercising 1 month, 6 months, nothing is happening. We are still as it is. Not everybody will get that kind of body. Some people are blessed with that kind of strong bodies. Now, the Bhagavatam is saying all these desirables of a person in this material world, whether it is wealth, whether it is fame, whether it is long life and strong strength, physical strength, as well as the able senses. In this material world, as we grow older, our senses become weaker. Our eyes become weaker, our tongue becomes weaker, our stomach becomes weaker. We cannot digest food like we used to during our younger days. When we are children, we can eat anything and get away with it. As we grow older, we have to control our diet. Otherwise, we will end up with diabetes, blood pressure, so many things. But children have no such issue. They will eat fried food also, they will eat Maggi also, they will eat everything. And they will play around and they will be comfortable. If we eat like them, that's all. We will become the playground for doctors. That's all that will be the result. But then, simply by hearing about the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is very mystical how, simply by hearing about the pastime of Varahadev, it will bestow upon us great punya, great pious credits. It will bestow upon us wealth, fame, and long life. And if we have to, and anybody who is on the field of battle, it will promote his strength of all of his vital organs and the organs of action. Not only that, over and above everything else, ante, at the last moment of one's life, if one hears this pastime, actually this pastime, if we hear it, if we read only the verses of this chapter, there are only 38 verses. It will take hardly 15 minutes. So at the end of our life, when we are quitting our body, 10-15 minutes if we spend in hearing about Varahadev's pastime, Narayano Gatihi, Ante Shrinvatam Narayano Gatihi. What will happen? If we simply hear of this pastime of Varahadev, we will attain the abode of Narayana, the Supreme Lord. So this is a very wonderful potency of devotional service, because only devotees of the Lord like to hear about his pastimes. Mayavadis don't want to hear, because for them it is all Maya. It is of no consequence for them. It is all illusion. But how is illusion helping us to cross over this material world and attain the supreme abode of the Lord, where, as Krishna describes in the Bhagavad Gita, that na tad bhasayate na shashanko na suryo, that supreme abode is not illuminated by either sun or moon. It is illuminated by the self-effulgence of the Supreme Lord. And yad gatva nanivartante tadhama paramam mama. Once we go back to the spiritual abode, there is no coming back again to this material world of repeated birth, death, disease, and old age. If it is Maya, how can the Lord's simply hearing the Lord's pastime bestow all this upon a person? The reality is, all these pastimes of the Supreme Lord are not Maya, they are not illusion, they are not simply some stories which somebody has written down just for entertainment. These are not of entertainment value. Of course, entertainment is also there. We hear how Hiranyaksha, he was trying to punch the Lord was evading. If you visualize all that, it's like a boxing match. Or like nowadays, they like to watch WWE matches like that, different moves both are doing, and the Lord's Varahadev's mace is falling down, and then Hiranyaksha is telling, "Come on, pick it up," and the Lord is picking up, and then he is also hitting at Hiranyaksha. Then Hiranyaksha's mace falls down. Then Varahadev is telling, now you were taunting me, no? Now you pick up. And Hiranyaksha is, "Cha, what is this? Insult for me. I'll not pick up. I'll take some other weapon." And he is attacking, and he is jumping on the Lord. Then he is using all conjuring tricks to create all kinds of illusion, to overcome the Lord, to bewilder the Lord. But all that just with the Sudarshana Chakra, everything gets dispelled. And finally, the Lord simply with a slap of his, after all that fight, finally, the Lord got fed up and he said, "Chalo, ek de diya." One slap he gave, finished. Hiranyaksha started reeling, his eyes started coming out of his sockets, all his hair got scattered, and he fell down dead. So entertainment is also there. But then it is transcendental entertainment. If we take pleasure in this, if we take pleasure in the entertainment of some boxing match or WWE match or some movie about how Batman is fighting Spider-Man or something like that, there you will not get any Mahapunya. You will not get Dhanya. On the other hand, you will have to spend money to watch it. Here, if you hear the Lord's pastime, you will get money. All wealth will be bestowed upon you. You will get fame. You will get long life. So many benefits are coming out of it because these are not just stories. They are real facts and they have a transcendental quality attached to them, which is not available in the mundane stories. And who will like to hear about these pastimes of the Lord? As we discussed, not the Mayavadis. The devotees like to hear. And any pastime of the Lord is actually having the same effect. And the Srimad Bhagavatam is full of such narrations of the Supreme Lord so that it can absorb our mind and intelligence and our emotions in the pastimes of the Lord, and by doing this we can become delivered. Just like the other day we were discussing in the same chapter about the pastime of Gajendra Moksha. During the pastime of Gajendra Moksha, Gajendra offered so many prayers to Lord Vishnu, such sweet, wonderful prayers. And it is said that anyone who wakes up in the morning, and as soon as he wakes up in the morning, he remembers these prayers of Gajendra, then at the end of his life, he will go back to Godhead. So, not only the Lord's pastimes, even the prayers of his devotees, even the activities of his devotees are also equally powerful. This is the power of devotional service. But unlike what people think, bhakti is not something to be something in the heart. Just like when we go and meet various people, they say, I have a lot of bhakti for the Lord. Every day in the morning, as soon as I get up, I take my bath, then I go to the puja room, and 5 minutes I do puja. I offer my prayers. Every day without fail I do. Then after that I go to my office, I do my other duties. So bhakti, and if we tell him, okay, so you are such a great devotee, such a nice devotee of the Lord, we have got some festival coming in the temple, do some seva. No, in my heart I have a lot of bhakti, that's enough. Bhakti is not just some sentiment in the heart or something to be kept inside. Bhakti has to be expressed. Actually, in the material world, people's understanding of devotion or bhakti is something which cannot be explained. It is something very vague. Some liking you have for something, that they call it a devotion. But actually, the definition given in the Shastras of bhakti is something else. Hrishikena Hrishikesha Sevanam Bhakti Ruchyate. The definition of bhakti, devotional service to Vishnu or Narayana or Krishna, is to render service to Krishna with our Hrishika, with our senses. Whatever our senses, hands, legs, tongue, our nose, ears, eyes, we have to perform devotional service to the Supreme Lord with all these senses. It is not something to be kept inside the heart and that's all. No. You have to express it by rendering practical service to the Lord with our senses, with our body. Now, how to do service to the Lord?
Can we serve the Lord? Can we engage in bhakti to the Lord in whatever way we want? No. There are standard ways in which we have to perform devotional service to Krishna. In the Nectar of Devotion, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, there is a description of 64 ways in which we can render service to the Supreme Lord. If we are able to follow all 64 of them, very good. But then practically it may not be possible to perform all 64 of them. Even one of them, if we perform nicely, perfectly, even that is enough to take us back to Godhead. Now in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was instructing Srila Rupa Goswami about the various aspects of devotional service, about the science of devotional service, based on which Srila Rupa Goswami wrote the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. There, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu described the 64 items of devotional service to Srila Rupa Goswami. When he was describing the 64 items, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he said, Sadhu Sangha, Nama Kirtana, Bhagavata Shravana, Mathura Vasa, Sri Murter Shraddhaya Sevana, Sakala Sadhana Shrestha, Ye Pancha Anga, Krishna Prema Janmaya, Ye Panchera, Alpa Sangha. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu informed Rupa Goswami that out of all the 64 ways in which we can render devotional service to Krishna, 5 items are very, very important. They are the most important. What are the 5? Sadhu Sangha, association of devotees. Nama Kirtana, chanting the holy names of Krishna, especially the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Nama Kirtana means we do japa, a fixed number of rounds, as well as we engage, we all get together and we engage in Sankirtan. Together we sing the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, the glories of the Supreme Lord. This is called Nama Kirtana. 2 kinds of Nama Kirtana. And the third kind of Nama Kirtana is to go and share with others whatever we have heard about Krishna, about the Bhagavad Gita, about the Srimad Bhagavatam, about the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. We go and tell others also. This is Nama Kirtana. Sadhu Sangha Nama Kirtana, Bhagavata Shravana. Every day we have to hear the Srimad Bhagavatam. Mathura Vasa. We have to live in a holy place like Mathura. There are many places of pilgrimage. There are many holy places like Mathura, Vrindavan, Govardhan. There is Ayodhya, Haridwar. Many such holy places are there. Even a temple wherever Vishnu is worshipped is also equally potent and equivalent to any other place of pilgrimage. So when we say that we have to live in a place of pilgrimage, everybody cannot go and live in Vrindavan or Mathura. The meaning is that wherever we live, we have to live close to some temple of Vishnu. And if we are in such a situation where we are far away from all temples, then what we have to do? We have to have the worship of the Lord, deity in the house, and we have to worship the Lord in the house. We have to make the house into a place of pilgrimage. And then the fifth item is Sri Murtira Shraddhaya Sevana, the deity worship itself. That is why temples are important. Now, a temple, many people ask, what is the need for a temple? We should build hospitals, especially because there is this pandemic raging. And people are saying nowadays, all the temples are shut and the hospitals are open. And so what is the use of a temple? Every object has its purpose. That way, if we use that logic, even colleges are shut. That means colleges are useless. We have malls where so many items are sold. All malls are also shut. That means malls also are useless. They should not be there. Every object has a certain purpose. In a certain condition, in a certain situation, we may have to shut down colleges. We may have to shut down schools. We may have to shut down temples. It does not mean that they are useless and they have to be discarded. Imagine if we go by this philosophy and shut down all schools and colleges, what will happen? Even hospitals will shut down because there will be no doctors. You need education to create doctors. Similarly, to treat the problems of birth, death, disease, and old age, temples are spiritual hospitals. Simply by coming to the temple, and it's not that the pujari who is worshipping inside the altar alone is doing deity worship. Sri Murtira Pujana, Sevana. Sri Murtira Sevana, even when the pujari is doing arti for the deity in the altar, whoever is standing in the temple and watching is also rendering deity worship, is also engaging in deity worship. When we come to the temple, anybody who comes to the temple, it is a common practice to bring some offering for the Lord. Somebody brings some flowers, somebody brings some fruits. These are all simple things which are available everywhere. And by coming and giving those items for the Lord in the temple, one is engaging in devotional service, one is engaging in deity worship. And by engaging in deity worship, what is the advantage? The benefit that a person gets is Krishna Prema Janmaya Ye Panchera Alpasanga. Even one of these things a person engages in, it will deliver him the highest goal of going back to Godhead and developing love for Krishna. We will get liberated from the cycle of birth, death, disease, and old age permanently. Otherwise, everybody in this world is suffering from birth, death, disease, and old age. Everybody has to die one day or the other. Today, it is the COVID pandemic. Once the COVID pandemic dies down, sometime or the other it will die down. Maybe 6 months down the line, maybe 1 year down the line, the COVID will go away. After that, is it that everybody will become disease free? No, diseases will still continue. Hospitals, their business will still continue. Doctors will still be needed. Medicines will still be needed. And after another century, again another pandemic like this will come. Every century we have a pandemic like this. It is not that this is the first time this pandemic is happening. Earlier there was the Spanish flu. And before that something else was there. The plague was there. So many things have come and gone. Man has been building hospitals. Does that mean that pandemics have stopped? Man has been putting so much research into money, into research, into medicines. Does it mean pandemics have stopped, epidemics have stopped? No, they will continue. That does not mean that we stop our efforts, we close down all hospitals. No, we have to do our duty. We do our duty, do research, find medicines, open hospitals. But we have to understand that opening a hospital is a temporary solution. It can temporarily help us to become free from one disease, but it cannot permanently stop all diseases. For a long term, so these are short term solutions. Temples are long term solutions to help us to get free permanently from disease, to get a life where there is no more disease, there is no more old age, there is no more death. This is also required. This is actually the prime requirement of the human form of life. And therefore, the human beings have been given a certain intelligence, a higher intelligence with which they can understand spiritual subject matter and seek a solution by which they can permanently overcome birth, death, disease, and old age. These four basic problems of life. That only in the human form of life we can try to seek answers, understand, and achieve that kind of life. Otherwise, it is not possible. So, Srila Rupa Goswami also reiterates this point about the efficacy of these 5 items of devotional service in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. In the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Srila Rupa Goswami states, Shraddha Visheshatah Pritihi Sri Murter Angri Sevane. We have to engage in the deity worship with love and with devotion and with conviction. Shraddha Visheshatah Pritihi. With firm conviction and love, we have to serve the deity. When a person is bringing some flowers or some fruits or whatever he brings to the temple and offers to the deity, in his heart what should be there? Devotion, love, and there is conviction that whatever I am offering is going to the Supreme Lord. Not as a blind faith or a superstition. Something people are doing, I am also doing. I don't know what is the meaning of this. Something I am doing. No, we have to develop the knowledge why we are doing this, what is the purpose behind this and what is the result of doing this. For that we have to read the Bhagavad Gita, we have to read the Srimad Bhagavatam, understand the great science behind this whole deity worship, and with firm conviction based on knowledge. Conviction comes from knowledge. Conviction doesn't come from blind faith. When we read the Bhagavad Gita and understand the science of devotional service, the science of bhakti, then we understand, oh, this is how it works. When I render devotional service to Krishna, what is happening? Krishna is personally receiving it, he is purifying my consciousness, and he is going to deliver me at the end of this life. This conviction has to be there. And to develop this conviction, we have to read Srimad Bhagavatam, we have to read Bhagavad Gita, we have to approach devotees, express our doubts, get them clarified, we have to take shelter of a spiritual master. These are all essential things to develop our conviction. Shraddha Visheshatah Preeti. Not only conviction, but we should also have love for Krishna. When we are engaging in deity worship, we have to understand that Krishna is personally standing here. He is a person and I am serving him. So with love and affection, we have to offer our service to the Lord. Not as some rule which is imposed upon me what to do. I am forced to do this. No. With love, voluntarily, we have to offer it. Shraddha Visheshatah Preetihi Srimurter Angri Sevane Srimad Bhagavatarthanam Aswado Rasikaihi Saha. The meaning of the Srimad Bhagavatam, one must relish, one must understand. Rasikaihi Saha, in the association of devotees, not in the association of jnanis, not in the association of Mayavadis. From whom we hear Srimad Bhagavatam is also important. Some professional reciter is doing some Bhagavata Saptaha somewhere. For his livelihood, for his livelihood, this is a very nice way. Whenever I speak of Bhagavad Katha, then lot of people will assemble, they will all give me money. I don't have to do any hard work. They will anyway pay me a lot of respect. Simply I have to sit and talk something, and they will come and offer their respects, and they will also give me money. Good, nice way of livelihood. We cannot go and hear Srimad Bhagavatam from such people. We have to hear from the pure devotees like Srila Prabhupada, who are nishkinchana, who have no material desire, who are completely dedicated devotees of Krishna. And by hearing from such people, the real effect, the real benefit we can derive. So, therefore, and we should not hear from Mayavadis, whose thinking is that all this Bhagavatam is all simply illusion. This is just for keeping our mind engaged, some entertainment. But the supreme absolute truth is actually Nirakar Brahman. And our goal is to go and merge into that Brahman. If we hear their false interpretations of the Bhagavatam from such people, then we are doomed. We will not get the real benefit. So the second item is Bhagavatarthanam Aswado. We should relish, we should every day Nityam Bhagavata Sevya. Every day we have to hear Srimad Bhagavatam in the association of devotees. And Sajati Ashaye Snigdhe Sadho Sangaha Swatovare. Another third thing that we have to do is Sadhu Sangha. How to do Sadhu Sangha? Two ways. One is Sajati Ashaye Snigdhe. We have to have loving dealings with similar minded devotees, which means devotees whose goal in life is not achieving some material benefit. Their goal in life is not earning some wealth, becoming famous, getting some material prestige, power. No. Their goal in life is to go back to Godhead. Their goal in life is to develop Krishna Prema. Sajatiya Ashaye. So, in such kind of Sajatiyas, such kind of similarly minded people we have to associate with. Associate means whenever we meet such people, what happens? We ask, how are you? What are you doing? What did you do yesterday? Oh, yesterday I read a nice pastime of Srimad Bhagavatam. And yesterday there was some festival in the temple and we had a nice feast. Tomorrow we are going to have some nice Sankirtan. We have organized a Sankirtan program somewhere. These are the things that we will discuss with other devotees. If you go and associate with materialistic people, you go and ask them, kya chal raha hai aajkal? What is happening nowadays? So nowadays I'm going to take vaccine and I've put money in the stock market, so I'm seeing the stock market is all going down, and now I have thought, let me pull it out and put it in some other account, and today there is one cricket match going on, I'm planning to go and attend. This is what a common man will talk. So association with such people will not help. Association with devotees means discussing about topics related to Krishna. This is the advantage of Sajati Ashaye Snigdhe. We express loving relationship with, exchange loving relationship with other similar minded devotees. This exchange of loving affairs also happens in 6 ways. Dana pratigraha, guhyam akhyati pritchati, dana pratigraha, and what is that? 6 ways. Guhyam akhyati pritchati. We ask confidential questions. I read yesterday in the Bhagavad Gita something like this. I was not able to comprehend this. Can you please help me understand this better? Or I have some difficulty in practicing some aspects of devotional service. I want some counseling. I want some help. How to do it better? These kind of asking confidential questions, expressing our mind to the devotees, and guhyam akhyati pritchati. And we also share our confidential things. Oh, yesterday I read Srimad Bhagavad Gita. This is my realization. Something happened in my life that gave me a certain perspective from Bhagavad Gita. So this kind of sharing one's confidential things and asking confidential questions. Guhyam akhyate pritchati, bhunjayate bhojayate cheva. We honor Krishna Prasadam and we also share the Krishna Prasadam with other devotees. Just like some devotee goes to Tirupati, he will buy nice Tirupati laddu, he will not eat the whole thing and come back. Because if he comes back and he tells, I went to Tirupati, first thing that devotee will ask is, give me little Tirupati laddu. He says, no, I bought and I ate everything, he will get nice beatings. So he will think, oh, if I eat everything, I'll get nice scolding. Better I take something for the devotees. So he will take some prasadam also. Honoring prasadam and sharing that prasadam with other devotees. Bhunjayate bhojayate cheva. And last thing is dana pratigraha. We give something in gifts as donation to the devotees. And the devotees also sometimes give some gifts, give some donation. If they give donation, if they give gift, what will they give? They'll give something related to Krishna only. Some flower from the deity altar, some tulsi offered to the lotus feet of the Lord, or some other aspect, some japamala, something or the other related to the Lord only you'll get, with which you can perform devotional service to the Lord. Shadvida Preeti Lakshanam. These are the 6 symptoms of loving exchanges. See how our Shastras are so very pinpointed and analytical. Even love, they have defined how a loving relationship is solidified. What are the activities in a loving relationship? Basic fundamental activities in a relationship which strengthens our love. These are the 6 activities which strengthen a loving relationship. You ask any modern psychologist to go and define love, he will start blabbering. He will not be able to give any proper analytical response. Our Shastras are so scientific and they are so analytical. And therefore, Sajati Ashaye Snigdhe, we exchange loving relationship with the devotees in these 6 ways. And not only that, Sadho Sangha Swato Vare. For our progress in devotional life, Sadho Sangha, we associate with pure devotees. We read Srimad Bhagavatam written by a pure devotee like Srila Prabhupada. And what we do, we absorb, we assimilate the knowledge Prabhupada is given. And when Prabhupada gives some instruction, we try to follow that. We render service to Prabhupada by following those instructions. Prabhupada has said we have to chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra fixed number of times every day. We follow that. Prabhupada says we have to follow the 4 regulative principles. No meat eating, no illicit sex, no gambling, no intoxication. We try to follow that. All the instructions of a pure devotee we try to follow. And by this what happens is we progress in spiritual life. This is the second aspect. The third aspect Sorry, this is the third aspect. The fourth aspect is Nama Sankirtanam. Like we discussed, every day we have to fix up a minimum number of times we will chant the holy names of the Lord. This is the Yuga Dharma. Actually, you will see in every religion, this is a standard procedure. Whether you take Christianity, they have to go every Sunday, at least once a week, they have to go to the church, they have to attend Mass, and they have to chant on their rosary a minimum number of times. You take Islam, they also have the Azan. The Azan is what? The Azan is nothing but glorification of the Supreme Lord. The Supreme Lord's names, they chant. And that is their, this one. And they have to do 3 times a day or something like that. And minimum at least every Friday they have to do. Otherwise every day they have to do. There also, fixed number of times chanting the Lord's name is a standard procedure. The same way in our Shastras also, it is very clearly said that fixed number of times we have to chant every day the holy names of the Lord. Because this is the Yuga Dharma. Yuga Dharma means for this Kali Yuga, it is the Dharma, duty of every human being to follow this process. Nobody can say, no, I'll follow some other path, I'll follow the path of Jnana Yoga. No, I like doing Dhyana, I will do Ashtanga Yoga. I like to do Karma Yoga. These are all the new fashions. I am a Karma Yogi. You cannot follow all those yoga processes in Kali Yuga. You have to follow the Yuga Dharma. The Dharma for this Yuga, the duty of every human being in this Yuga is what? It is not Karma Yoga. It is not Jnana Yoga. It is not Dhyana Yoga. It is Bhakti Yoga. It is chanting the holy names of the Lord. Therefore, the Shastras have clearly said, Harer Nama, Harer Nama, Harer Nama, Iva Kevalam. Kevalam means only chanting names of Hari. Kalau nastyeva, nastyeva, nastyeva gatiranyatha. In Kali Yuga, there is no other way, no other way, no other way. Why 3 times it is said in the Kalisantarna Upanishad like this? Because the first time when you are saying nastyeva, no other way, means you cannot follow Karma Yoga. Second time nastyeva, you cannot follow Jnana Yoga. Third time nastyeva, you cannot follow Dhyana Yoga. The only process is Harer Nama. Chanting the holy names of the Lord is the Yuga Dharma. And therefore, Nama Sankirtana. Not only do we chant, we tell others to chant, and we collect a group of people, and together we chant the holy names of the Lord. This is called Sankirtana. And this is a very effective process for Kali Yuga. So, Nama Sankirtanam, Sriman Mathura Mandale Sthitihi. Like we discussed earlier, we have to live in a place of pilgrimage. We have to live in a holy place. That means our house itself should become a holy place. It is not a place for sense gratification. We have to keep our house very neat and clean, and we have to have a scheduled program where we worship the deities at home every day. These 5 processes are the most important out of all the 64 items of devotional service. Srila Rupa Goswami in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, after describing these 5 items, he says, Duruhadbhuta Virye Asmin Shraddha Dhurestu Panchake. Shraddha Dhurestu Panchake. Out of these 5 items of devotional service, Shraddha Dhurestu, even if one does not have faith in any of these 5 processes, but still, somehow or other, yatra swalpopi sambandha, somehow or other, even a little bit connection one somehow achieves to one or more of these 5 items. What happens? Sadhya bhava janmane. If a person who follows any one or more of these 5 items, even without faith, but offenselessly, without committing offenses, and he has some intelligence, he uses intelligence to understand why I have to follow these processes, then what happens is bhava janmane. It will reawaken the love for Krishna in our heart. Duruha adbhuta vidya asmin. This is the adbhuta vidya. This is the wonderful power of these 5 processes. What are these 5 processes? One is sadhu sangha. Second is the Nama Kirtana. Third is the Bhagavata Shravana. Fourth is Mathura Vasa. And fifth is deity worship, Sri Murtira Pujana, Sevana. These 5 items, they have such wonderful power that even the most sinful man in Kali Yuga, who has no faith in all these processes, without offenses, if he simply gets connected, swalpopi, even little bit he gets connected. Somehow he is going here on the way, somehow he is passing by, simply a temple is there, he'll come, offer his obeisances and go. That's all his connection is. Even in such a person's heart, it will have effect, and gradually love for Krishna will awaken in his heart. This is dur-uha. We cannot understand how this acts. It is inconceivable. This is the inconceivable vidya, power, adbhuta vidya, of the wonderful power, super excellent power of these 5 items of devotional service. And so therefore, it is not very difficult to understand. Simply by hearing about the pastime of Varahadev vanquishing Hiranyaksha, we can achieve the highest goal of getting liberated from this material body, understanding that I am not the body, I am spirit soul, and achieving the highest liberation of going back to Godhead and never having to again take repeated birth, death, disease and old age within this material world. It is not at all difficult to understand this, because this is the Adbhuta Duruha Vidya of rendering devotional service to the Supreme Lord. And therefore, the Srimad Bhagavatam, hearing the Srimad Bhagavatam is super excellently powerful. We have to simply have conviction and Nityam Bhagavata Seve. Every day if we simply hear Srimad Bhagavatam in the association of devotees, like-minded devotees, all necessary Jnana, Vairagya, everything will come. We don't have to worry. We don't have to strive separately to gain Jnana. Spiritual knowledge, we don't have to strive separately to gain. Simply by hearing Bhagavatam every day, the highest knowledge gets revealed to us. Not only that, we don't have to strive to develop Vairagya, detachment from this material world. No need. Simply by hearing Srimad Bhagavatam every day, Vairagya will develop in the heart. So this is the wonderful Duruhadbhuta Vidye Asmin. This is the wonderful power, super excellent power, inconceivable super excellent power of rendering devotional service, especially of these 5 items of devotional service to the Supreme Lord. Therefore, we should take advantage of this wonderful process, which is especially the Dharma in Kali Yuga, and by following this, we can very easily develop Krishna Prema and go back to Godhead. I'll stop here. If there are any questions or comments, we can discuss. Yes, please.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Why is that transcendental subject like Srimad Bhagavatam blesses with material benefits, bro?
What is the, why should Amala Purana, spotless Purana, promise wealth, fame and these kind of things, isn't it? That's the question. So actually in the purport itself, Prabhupada mentions the devotees are generally attracted by the narratives of the pastimes of the Lord. And even though they do not prosecute austerities or meditation, this very process of hearing attentively about the pastimes of the Lord will endow them with innumerable benefits such as wealth, fame, longevity and other desirable aims of life. Why? Because it is Mahapunya. Anybody who engages in Punya Karma, he will get wealth, longevity, great health, all these things will follow. Because hearing Srimad Bhagavatam or chanting Krishna's holy name or engaging in deity worship is Mahapunya, these things have to follow. Automatically they will come. Now it doesn't end there. If one continues to hear Srimad Bhagavatam, which is full of narratives of the pastimes of the Lord, then at the end of his life, one is sure to be transferred to the eternal transcendental abode of the Lord. Thus, hearers are benefited both ultimately and for as long as they are in the material world. That means if he engage in devotional service of the Lord, Krishna, he will take care of us materially also and spiritually also. It is not that if a devotee engages in devotional service to the Lord, Krishna will take us back to Godhead at the end of our life, but during this life we are damned. We have to live a life of penury. We have to struggle. We have to suffer, wear torn clothes, have unshaven beard, and long, dirty nails. No. We can have beautiful, effulgent bodies. We can wear nice dress. We can have, because you see, when one engages in the topmost service to the Lord will take care of all the lesser necessities, so that we can execute our devotional service without any qualms, without any worry. Outside world, today, people are in great anxiety. What is going to happen next? Such a pandemic, the global economy is melting down, people are dying left, right and center. If we look at the media today, the visuals are very terrifying. In the graveyard, hundreds of bodies are together being burnt. People are lined up outside the graveyard in front of the crematorium. They are not getting time to cremate the dead ones. They are having to wait for hours together to get their turn. These are all the visuals which are coming. So when somebody sees them, he gets very afraid, frightened. What is going to happen? I cannot sit at home also. If I sit at home, what will I eat tomorrow? I don't know. Whereas devotees of the Lord, every day we are getting up, singing and dancing in front of the Lord. That's all. And automatically things are taken care of. Prasadam is taken care of. Our clothing is taken care of. Everything is, the Lord will take care. We have no anxiety. We have no worry. We don't have to struggle for our existence in the material world. This is taken care of by the Lord. This is one understanding. Another understanding is, when one commences engaging in devotional service to the Lord, initially, one will have so many material desires in the heart. We will have desire for wealth, we will have desire for fame, puja, pratishtha, labha, all these things will be there in the heart. It doesn't go away so easily. By engaging in devotional service to the Lord will give us whatever is required. At the same time, He will purify us also, so that gradually we lose the taste for all these things. Krishna will give us the wealth also, and He will give us pain of getting that wealth, and He will give us the knowledge also. See, to get this wealth, I have to struggle so much. What are all the pains associated with this wealth? This is useless. You lose the attraction for wealth. You will lose the attraction for fame. You lose the attraction for health. You lose the attraction for long life. So it looks, what is this crazy fellow is talking? You don't have any desire for long life. What is this? Kulashekara Alvar, in his Mukundamala Sotra, he states, Krishna Tvadiya Padapankaja Panjarantam Adyaivu Vishatume Manasa Rajahamsaha Prana Prayana Samaye Kafavata Pittaihi Kantavarodana Vidau Smaranam Gutaste. Kulashekara Alvar is praying to Krishna. Krishna, today itself, Adyaiva me Manasa Rajahamsaha, the swan of my mind, let it enter into the network of the lotuses of your lotus feet. Tvadiya Pada Pankaja, your lotus feet, Panjarantam. Swans have got this proclivity to go around play by going and entangling themselves in the stems of the lotuses. So he is using this poetically to explain. Kulashekara Alvar is saying that, O Krishna, today itself let my mind get entangled in your lotus feet. Let me meditate constantly on your lotus feet, and let me give up my body right now, at this very moment. He is not asking for long life. He is not praying to Krishna, Krishna, I am doing so much devotional service to you. You are a very big devotee, so please bless me with a long, healthy life. No, he is saying, today itself, now itself, let me die. Why? Why is he saying like this? Prana Prayana Samaye Kafavata Pittaihi. What happens at the time of death? If I become old, if I have a long life and I become old and then I die, what will happen? At the time of death, Kantavarodana Vidau, my throat will get choked up. By Kapha, Vata and Pitta, all these things will get deranged. My nose will get blocked, my throat will get blocked, I will not be able to talk, I will not be able to remember your lotus feet. So much painful it will be, I will be suffocating. And at that moment, Smaranam kutaste, where will I remember your lotus feet? Today, right now, my senses are all strong. My mind is in proper frame. My intelligence is working properly now. Old age, we don't know. Parkinson's disease, Alzheimer's disease, whether I'll remember anything, whether I'll be in a position to think, remember your lotus feet, I don't know. So better is, right now itself, let me give up my life so that my mind and intelligence are working. I'll be able to remember your lotus feet when I'm quitting my body. So like this, a devotee, when he progresses in devotional life, he will lose the taste even for long life also. Similarly, he will lose the attraction for money. He will lose the attraction for fame. All these things will go away. That is why Krishna's another name is Hari. Hari means one who harati, one who takes away from us. What does he take away from us? What does Krishna take away from us? He takes away from us, from our heart, our attraction for anything material. Attraction for wealth, attraction for health, attraction for beauty, attraction for fame, attraction for the opposite sex, everything Krishna will take away. Initially, when we go to Krishna, Krishna may satisfy our desires. Okay, temporarily give him something. But then, when Krishna really bestows his blessings, then what happens? Yasyaham anugrunnami harishye tadhanam shanaihi. Whom Krishna really bestows his blessings, Krishna will take away all his wealth, so that he can see the real face of wealth and material society and friendship. When one's wealth is there, then one will be surrounded by friends, relatives, everybody will be very loving, very kind, very nice relationship, everything will be very nicely arranged. At that time, one cannot understand how this material world is dukkhalayam ashashvatam. This material world is full of miseries and it is temporary. We cannot understand. That is why Sri Pada Shankaracharya also in his Bhajagovindam, he says that yavan vittoparjana saktas tavan nija parivaro raktaha. One's nija parivara, one's own very close family, one's father, mother, brother, sister, wife, children, all these people, nija parivara raktaha, they are all attached to us. Right? In our life, we'll see our parents are very attached to us. If we want to join the temple, our parents will be first people to stop us. Very attached to us. If we have a wife, wife will be very attached to us. Every day she is cooking, taking care of us, even little bit sickness. She will come and give this medicine, that medicine, take this kashaya, this, that, so that you will be protected from the pandemic. So much care she is giving. Parents, wife, children, they are all attached to us. As long as Sri Pada Shankaracharya says, I am not saying, Shankaracharya is saying, Yavan vittoparjana shaktaha. As long as you are capable of earning money, your whole family will be very loving and affectionate towards you. The day you stop earning money, what happens? You will become like a dog in the house. You will see old people in the house. They have retired, they are no more earning. They are dependent on their sons and daughters for their food and for their survival. Such people, what is the status? When the children see them, the grandchildren, the grandparent, he looks at the grandchildren, he calls him, come sit and talk to me. He's like, yo, old man, started is this one. Somehow they will escape and run away. Who wants to talk to him? Then the parent will call up the children and say, I just thought of speaking to you. I am very busy. No time for all of you. Speak later. Thak, disconnect. This is the reality. I've seen in Delhi. I had gone to one doctor for some medication. Elderly doctor. He's senior. He's some 70 years old. And he was when I went to his clinic, he was showing me all his younger days photographs. During his youth, he was a cancer specialist. And he's sitting on the dais. Next to him is the Prime Minister of the country, Rajiv Gandhi, sitting right next to him. That level he was. And another photograph from the president, he is receiving some award. And he is looking young, handsome, coat, tie, looking very energetic, all that. And he was talking to me and he was telling, Swamiji, see, I become old now. In your temple, will I get some space? I can stay with the devotees. I can spend my last days there. I said, you are such a big man. What is the problem? What to do? I have 2 sons. Both my sons, they are now settled abroad, and last 5 years they have stopped talking to me. I try calling them, I try speaking to them. They are not responding at all. They have forgotten me. They have abandoned me. And now I am old. I am not able to practice like the olden days. No patients also come. So I am all alone sitting here. I have become old. Nobody listens to me. My own children have abandoned me. My wife died a few years back. Now I have nothing. So is there some little space where I can come and live in your community? You see his situation. He has 2 sons, both of them well off, settled abroad. They don't even want to talk to him. Yavan Vitto Pardanaha. When he was young, his sons were so much dependent on him. They were so loving and affectionate to him. Now what happened? Now he is no more capable of earning money and taking care of them and their needs. So he has become a rejected, like a dog in the street he has become. This is the reality of material nature. Every one of you also, if you sit at home without earning money, that's all. Same parents who are so affectionate to you, they will kick you out of the house and say, get out. Useless fellow, what are you doing here, sitting here? Simply sitting and eating. Go and earn some money, go. No, I am not interested. I don't want to earn money. I'll sit at home. Nothing doing. If you don't go and earn money, that's all. He will kick you out with boots, your own parents. This is the reality. Not only your own parents, your wife will also kick you out of the house. So, the Shankaracharya says, when a person dies, when the person dies, his body is brought. Until he dies, his wife is so loving, taking care of him every day. Moment he dies, what does the wife say? Please take away the body, don't keep. Take and burn as quickly as possible. What happened to all the love and affection? Gone. All this love, affection and all these things are very temporary in this material world. Therefore, when we render devotional service to Krishna, Krishna will give all these things. Simultaneously, he will give the realization also that how these things are all illusory. They have no real bearing in our life. Real thing is to develop Krishna Prema. Krishna will give Vairagya from these things. Our attraction for these things will also get wiped away. This is the beauty of surrendering to Krishna. Krishna will satisfy our requirements. At the same time, Krishna will also see what is it if I give him wealth, his devotional life will not be hampered. Krishna will give wealth. He will give fame if it is not hampering our spiritual life. If Krishna sees, if I give this wealth to him, if I give this fame to him, his spiritual life will get destroyed. Then Krishna will not give. So when we render devotional service to Krishna, Krishna discriminates what is it that is good for our spiritual life, Krishna will give. Krishna does not want to hold back anything from us. It's not Krishna's desire that he should not give us any wealth, any fame, nothing, no. The most famous people in this world are Krishna's devotees only. Even today, who does not know about Prahlad Maharaj? Everybody knows. Who does not know about Arjuna? Everybody knows. Who does not know about Dhruva Maharaj? Everybody knows. Who does not know about Radharani? Everybody knows. Why? Because they are all devotees of Krishna. Their fame is undying. And whether you look at Parikshit Maharaj, Yudhishthira Maharaj, whether you look at Dhruva Maharaj, they were all emperors. No lack of any wealth. Krishna does not want to hold back anything from his devotees. Krishna wants to give us more than what we want. Devotee never desires for these things. But still Krishna bestows. Why? Because he owns everything. When a father owns everything, he will want to give everything to his son. Which father is there who says, all my wealth I'll keep for myself, for my son, you live in the street, I'll not give you anything. No. A loving father means, all my wealth is for you only, my son. He will give everything, provided the son knows how to handle it maturely. When the father is confident, my son, he can handle it maturely, he will give everything. So when we render devotional service to Krishna, as we mature in devotional service, Krishna will give fame also, Krishna will give wealth also. Everything we have to learn how to utilize in Krishna's service. If we don't know how to utilize in Krishna's service and we use it for our sense gratification, then Harishye Tadhanam Shanai. Krishna will take that away also. So, rendering devotional service is Mahapunya. Along with that, all these things here are concomitant. They will automatically come. Along with that, jnana will also come, vairagya will also come. That is how we have to understand. It is not like performing some material punya and getting some power, some strength, some wealth and some fame. This is different. When Krishna is giving, it is different. Krishna sees our mature ability to handle it in devotional service and Krishna gives. Is that clear? We'll stop here. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Shri Shri Krishna Balaram ki, Shri Shri Gaur Nitai ki, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki, Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol.